Now watch, to come between me and the bag and the fence is a huge deal to him. See his ears and his eyes? This is huge. So now I'm going to walk along with him, and I'm going to make him get between the bag and the fence. I want him to feel that confinement, but I want him to feel it in a way where it's not intimidating to him. And I can't reemphasize, I'm not making eye contact with him, okay? Because if I were making eye contact with him now, that'd make him more afraid. That would escalate the situation. So I'm going to ask him for a nice soft turn. And notice that the closer the bag gets, the tougher it gets for him. That's all right. Here in a minute, I'm going to hook it to his holder. And then we'll pick up business in town a little bit. But that right there is a huge deal for him. But I want him to feel that, I don't know what you call it, that it's more fear than apprehension. This isn't apprehension, this is fear.
Right.
Right? So that's another key point that I hear myself talk about so much I get tired of hearing myself, is for us as horsemen to identify the difference between fear and apprehension. Now, if I were to be disciplining him and correcting him right now in a fear situation, it would make it worse. If I show him compassion and I show him companionship during fear, he soaks it up like a sponge. Now, if he were being resentful to me and pawing and coming at me and switching his tail and trying to kick me, that's resistance and that's aggression. And I'm going to get this dick and I'm going to hit him as hard as I can maybe if he kicks at me.
Right.
Sorry, that's how it is. That's reality. That aggression toward a human is not acceptable in a horse, period. But notice how when I give him companionship and I give him affection and I cover his eye like I did a little bit ago, and then I come over here to his withers, to that spot we were talking about. See, when he's looking at it, I'm just rubbing him right there. So now what I'm going to do, since he's being nice, I'm going to retreat. And we're going to pause the video, and we're just going to soak for a minute or so, okay? Okay, so now we've worked with Prince for a little while and got him feeling good about things, and he's licking his lips. His ears are back, but I'm okay with it. And he's blinking every now and then, but he's not sure about this. And so I've moved the bag and hooked it to the knot right here under his chin. But it's hooked in a way where it'll come loose real easy, okay? So if he steps on it, it'll just pop loose. So what I'm going to do is just get him moving around a little bit with that underneath him. Come up, Pomeroy. Prince.
Wake up.
Let's see. Whoa. Now, I'll let him go because what I didn't want to do is to get into a ruckus with him and scare him. So we're gonna come back and start all over, okay? But see, this is what we're trying to get him to tell us what to do. Is I don't want him acting that way with a rider. So these little childish Sunday school lessons have got to be learned. They've got to be learned. I'm going to put a loop in my rope here, sir. So next time when you start that, it's going to stick with you, okay? I'm not looking at him in the eye. You know, just but you see, his first reaction to uncertainty and fear was, let's get the heck out of here, we're going to die. And no, sir, everything's fine. Now,
but it's important you didn't let that go, right?
What's that?
But it's important that you didn't let that go and just...
I let it go because if I would have held on to the rope, I think things would have escalated. And I just didn't want that to happen. What I wanted to have happen is what's happening right now.
Well, I meant after you let him go, you went right back to it. I meant
Yeah.
you didn't put him back to the stall.
No, like, if Julie's got to spend the night tonight, we're getting this worked out. You know, this little, like if we quit him right here, we might as well shoot him. Okay, so we're going to have him lunging around here in a little bit with this sack on here, like it's not, like he looks at it like it's his tail hanging there. He don't even think about it. You don't see him spooking with his tail because he's used to dragging it around since he's a baby. Okay? But where everybody gets confused about this, it's not about bags, it's just about mind control and him managing his emotions. Mm-hmm. I'm teaching him to manage his emotion. I'm teaching him not to flee from trouble. And we'll go a little further here in a little bit. We'll put something behind him to drag, and if he takes off running, he'll try to run away from it, but then he'll stop, and when he stops, it quits chasing him, and he's like, well, you know what? Maybe one day when I go to bolt and go to run off with Julie, mm-hmm. if I stop, it'll go away. Because in his life, going away meant running faster. Mm-hmm. Well, when you're on his back, that gets a little tough.
Do you deal with a lot of horses that bolt?
No.
I think that's the habit that I despise the most, and I've only had one client's horse that did that, and I was honest with the lady. I said, you know, we're never going to get rid of it totally out of this horse.
It's pretty scary.
And you know, for her teenage daughter, and we actually ended up putting the horse down because I got rid of it for a little while and it came back worse.
But you got to get back to this stage. Mm-hmm. It's not about a stiffer bit.
Oh, no.
It's not about leverage. It's not about that if he bows his neck and he can't manage his fear and he goes straight ahead, you're just a passenger.
Yeah.
So I got to get his neck soft, and I got to give to pressure when he's afraid.
Yeah.
Because when he's afraid, if he doesn't give the pressure, like when I was on the end of the rope going around there a little bit ago, mm-hmm. I could have tied that rope to this fence and he'd have dragged the fence down.
Yeah.
So I got to get him past that.
Right.
I got to get him to when he feels pressure, he releases,
mm-hmm.
no matter what's going on.
Right.
I mean, if the sky's falling, he's going to still yield.
Well, and I think that's what people need to understand. The pressure is not even just like what you're doing with the bag, but it's also pressure with the training. Because I've had horses that'll melt down that they don't want to do what I'm asking them to do.
Right.
Because it's too hard, and then they...
But when you make that request that it's too hard, I back up and make a request that's easy.
Right. Yep.
And then the next time I make it just a little more. Mm-hmm. And then I always try to back it up. Like in this situation here, I moved the bag away, and then I got him okay with it. And now like here, this is the most intense thing for him when it's right underneath him. Now, what happens here, okay, part of the reason for this could be he might have thrown a rider, or a rider fell off one time and scared him. Mm-hmm. I've seen that happen a lot when they unseat a rider and someone falls underneath them, it scares them to death.
Yeah.
Well, he might associate this to that catastrophe. Mm-hmm.